Peace, chosen ones. Happy Owl Wisdom Wednesday. I hope you all are doing well. This is the Mystic Owl speaking, and today I want to talk about divine alignment. There are some relationships that just don't happen, they align. And I've always believed that the people who are meant to cross paths in this lifetime are guided by something deeper than coincidence, something older, sacred, something that works quietly behind the scenes. And I think about this often, but especially during the Valentine's Day season, because love isn't just about flowers, dates, surface level romance, but true love, divine love is about timing, alignment, literally the stars aligning, astrology, and the invisible threads that connect families, bloodlines, spirit teams across generations, dating back thousands of years, more than likely. I've seen this type of divine alignment play out in my own personal life. And a little example of that would be both of my grandmothers, who were born less than 48 hours apart in the same year in different states. Two women, two separate families, two completely different upbringings, born almost at the exact same time. They didn't know each other back then. They weren't even in the same place, in the same state, in the same city. Families were not connected, but destiny or divine timing, divine alignment was already moving the pieces. And years later, their children, aka my parents, would meet, form a relationship, and create me. So when I look at my life, I don't just see two people who fell in love, I see generations aligning. I see that timing had to be perfect. I see my ancestors moving like chess players because they were and they are positioning people in the right place at the right time. That's what divine alignment looks like to me. And it doesn't always feel magical in the moment. Sometimes it just feels like everyday normal life, like a job, a move, a random introduction, a conversation, or a place you didn't almost go. But later, when you look back, you start to see the pattern. You realize that certain people were placed in your life for a reason. Some to build you, teach you, some to break illusions, and some to walk beside you throughout life. I've seen divine alignment in relationships where two people meet at the exact moment they both decide to change their lives. I've seen couples who grew up only blocks away from each other but didn't meet until years later when they were ready. I've seen people run into their future partner at the grocery store, the bus stop, anywhere. Random event that they almost didn't go to. It really could be anything. And when you hear their stories, there's always this moment where everything lines up just right. And it's kind of like what happens in the movies, because what happens in the movie is actually what happens in our real life, because art imitates life. So it could be anything like a missed bus, a missed train, a last minute decision, a job transfer, a mutual friend, anything. And then suddenly those two timelines cross each other. And that's not always luck. Most of the time, it's alignment. Divine alignment doesn't just bring people together, it also moves people out of the way. Sometimes relationships end because your path is shifting. Sometimes you outgrow a person because your spirit is evolving, and that's okay. And sometimes doors close because something more aligned is waiting ahead. And that doesn't necessarily mean that the relationship was a mistake or a waste of time. It just means that its purpose was served and now it's time to move on. Every connection carries a lesson, and that's not just romantic connections. Some teach you how to love, some teach you how to set boundaries, some teach you about what you do and don't deserve, and some teach you how strong you really are. Divine alignment isn't always romantic. It can show up in friendships, mentors, business partners, or even strangers who say one thing and it can change your entire perspective, which in turn can change your entire life. It can show up in the person who introduces you to a new opportunity or the person who reminds you of your worth at the exact moment that you might have forgot. Love in its highest form is alignment, not obsession, not chasing, not confusion. Alignment feels like peace. It feels calm. It feels natural. It feels like two people standing side by side, facing the same direction instead of pulling each other in opposite ways. When something is truly meant for you, it doesn't require you to shrink yourself. It doesn't require you to beg for attention or question your value or constantly feel uncertain and confused. Divine alignment comes with clarity, and that's something that I've personally come to understand more and more as I've grown. The right people come into your life when your energy matches the space they're meant to fill, not before, not after, right on time. So, this Valentine's Day, I'm not just thinking about romance, I'm thinking about alignment. I'm thinking about the generations that had to exist for me to be here, the grandmothers born 2 days apart, the parents who crossed paths, the decisions, the timing, the movement of life that brought everything together. And it reminds me that what's meant for you is already on its way, but alignment is always working in the background. Love that's meant for you doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It's prepared, it's orchestrated, it's guided, it's divine. So instead of chasing love, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is align yourself, your energy, your habits, your boundaries, your self worth with the kind of love that you actually deserve. Because when you're in alignment, the right people don't feel forced, they feel familiar, they feel safe, they feel like they've been a part of your story long before you ever met. And that's the kind of love that lasts, the kind that feels written in the stars, literally through astrology, and whispered through generations. That's divine alignment. If you stay to the end, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to tune into next week's Out Wisdom Wednesday for more spiritual guidance and insight. And as always, speak life over yourself, take care of yourself, love yourself, trust yourself, and protect yourself. I love you, chosen ones. Peace.